That's how the deserted island has changed in 400 days, and I still have things to do. Without further ado, I have survived 500 days on the island. Day 401, and I want to build an island for animals. But first, I have to get some bamboo. The next day, I made an outline of the island, dividing it into 4 equal parts. On the 403rd day, I raised this outline 1 level and added dirt. On day 405, I added a fence to the island so that no animals could escape. Then I lit this island so mobs wouldn't spawn here. And since I did everything I could on this island, I go to other biomes to find animals to bring to my island. Technically, I broke the rules about not leaving the island, but that rule was only for the first 100 days, so let's go find some animals to bring back to our island. Ooh, piggies. Well, let's put one on the boat and the other on a leg, and off we go. And here we have our first mobs. I gave them name tags so they wouldn't get lost. Then I went looking for more mobs. Here I see the cows that I also need. Then I'll take them the same way I took the pigs. And now the cows are also in the pen. And the next day I brought sheep. On the 410th day I took 2 wolves. Now I have restored the animal population on my island. And next to this island I want to build another island, but now it will have an aquarium. Okay, now I need to get a lot of sand. Because now I have to melt all this sand. It took me the whole 414 days to melt the glass. I have enough glass to make this aquarium. But I still need to get some dirt for the tank. It must be here somewhere. Here it is. Now let's decorate the bottom of this aquarium. I also need some kelp to have some kind of seaweed here. Now we put this kelp in and it needs to grow. And by growing it here, I can quickly fill this tank with water. Finally, I filled this tank completely with water. After that, I spent the whole day trading with the villagers to buy name tags. Okay, and somewhere here, and here we have this tropical fish. Let's catch it. I got 4 of them, which I threw into the fish tank right away. Oh, and this is a puffer fish. Let's put that in the aquarium too. There's a tropical fish, and here is the puffer fish that just destroyed half of my health. 4 more fish have been added to the aquarium. And here is a shipwreck. By the way, it even has 2 smithing templates. And here we have a treasure map. Let's see where the treasures are. Because I can get the heart of the sea, and this treasure is somewhere right next to me. Is there really a heart of the sea here? I can make an underwater beacon with it. I have added the last 4 fish. Now let's add some kelp to this tank. On day 425, I added water to the mob farm to turn zombies into drow and started farming them because I needed 8 nautilus shells from drowns. The next day, I continued to farm zombies, but I didn't get any shells. On day 427, I tried to catch a shell by fishing, but it didn't help me either. The next day, I went in search of pandas. By the way, I found the pillager's mansion, but I don't need it now. I spent the 429th day looking for a panda. And by the way, I managed to find a small village here. And here is the panda that I must somehow bring to my island. I think he's crying. So let's feed him some bamboo. And it has snot on his face. I'm going to take it to the island right now. And I have to get a name tag and give it to him so he doesn't disappear. The next day, I gave him a name tag. And I took another panda to take to the island. And the next day, since I couldn't find a way out through the water, I started digging a tunnel to the sea. On day 433, I finished digging that tunnel. And I took my panda through that tunnel. In the evening, I arrived at my island. And now I have 2 pandas. And I have to build a separate island for them. The island for these pandas is ready. We already have at least 3 pandas. After this 436th day, I decided to find a new 1.20 biome, which is the cherry biome, and I need to get some trees there to grow on my island. And finally, on day 437, I managed to find this biome. I farmed some cherry leaves to get some saplings, and on day 438, I built my own island with these trees. The next day, I bred new animals on my island. And now it's time for me to deal with the archaeology that was added in 1.20. But first, I have to make a brush. The brush is made, and I flew to look for a sand biome, because it seems that this suspicious sand can only be there. Finally, I found this biome, and here is the pyramid where this new sand should be. Is this it? No, it doesn't seem to be working. This damn stuff. I've already checked all the sand here where this suspicious sand could be. I don't understand it. Guess I need to find another pyramid, because there's nothing here. I don't think this is it. This sand is not like normal sand, and it is used to extract diamonds. Wow. But it looks like there was only one piece of sand like this, so I can go now. And here I see a well that must also have a new kind of sand. And I got a ceramic pottery shard. And even a second one. I wonder what they're for. So until day 452, I searched for various things in this sand, but I never managed to find the sniffer egg. As it turns out, this egg can only be found in underwater archaeology in warm biomes. Okay, I found a coral reef, and there should be some underwater structures here somewhere. And here is the first structure with suspicious sand. And I have wheat. Well, I need a sniffer egg. I have 2 sniffer eggs, and let's put them up. And now I have to wait. By the way, we already have a lot of pandas on Panda Island, and it turns out that I need to find a block of moss to make the eggs grow faster, so I flew off in search of it. And here I see an azalea, under which there must be a moss biome. So I found a lush cave. After that, I got moss in that cave. When I returned to the island, I put the moss under the sniffing eggs. In the evening, I made a separate island to turn into a moss biome. Cracks appeared, and the eggs lay hatched. They're so funny with their noses. I have to bring them to the ground to sniff out a new flower. Yeah, and now I think we can finally grow this moss island here. After I finished the moss island, I decided to check where my sniffers were. One of them had disappeared. I spent the entire 456th day looking for the second sniffer, but I couldn't find it. So I tied the other sniffer to the fence so he wouldn't disappear either. I want to build a cool island, so I need to get some quartz. And here it is. I also need some dirt for the new island. And now I can build this island. And on this island, I want to put quartz statues of the villagers. And I also need to put a house there. By the way, I need to get copper because I can make a lightning rod, so I will not be afraid of lightning and thunderstorms. Okay, and about 10 pieces will be enough for me, and it's better to put them somewhere away from the tree. The next day, I went in search of an amethyst cave. On the 466th day, I found a huge cave, but I didn't find any amethyst. And the next day, I managed to find the amethyst cave, in which I got the amethyst. And with this amethyst, I made a spyglass. And now I want to build a drowned farm, which will require about 6,000 bricks. And with the help of this farm, I hope to find these 8 shells to make an underwater beacon. So I spent day 468 gathering resources. I continued to collect resources until day 471, when I started to build the farm itself. From day 472 to day 478, I built the farm. And the next day, I filled the farm with water so that the drowned could begin to spawn. But after waiting for quite a while, no drowned spawned. On day 481, I tried to rebuild the farm, but no drowned appeared, and I spent 6,000 building blocks. So I spent the next 4 days mining for netherrack in Nether. On day 486, I started to build a new drowning farm, but this time over a river biome. This is where the drowned should spawn. And while I'm building, you can subscribe to my channel and like this video because I'm building so many things. Yay, finally! Drowned spawn on this farm. Well, let's go farm them, because I need shells and a trident. And now I have 8 clams and 1 trident. Now I need to find an underwater dungeon for this underwater beacon. And here it is. I need to get aquamarine blocks from it, which I got by killing dungeon mobs. On day 495, I built this underwater beacon. And with the help of this beacon, I will finally be able to breathe underwater. After that, I enchanted a trident. And my first enchanted trident came back to me after I threw it. It's a cool trident, but I want to enchant another one. And with the other trident, I can fly out of the water. It's so cool. After that, I decided to move back to my mansion. So I started moving my stuff over there. It took me a few days, but the mansion looks great now. And where my things used to be, I made something like a dance floor, which I didn't have enough wool for. On the 499th day, I decided to see what my sniffer was up to. And it was, first of all, very big. And second, it gave me the seed of a new flower. I immediately planted and grew this flower. And now what can I do with it? The seeds do not fall out at all when I pluck it. I'm still in a shocked state at the size of this beast, but it doesn't want to eat this flower either. Okay, then we have to find a camel. And this camel has to be somewhere near the village. And here I see it. But as it turns out, it's not sitting in the boat. So I tried to put it in the minecart, and it worked. That means I have to take it through the underwater. The next day, I dug a huge tunnel in the nether for 1,000 blocks. Then I added tracks to it. Then I threw the camel into the nether. But in the nether, it started taking damage because this mob turned out to be 3 blocks high. So I quickly went to extend the tunnel. But when I got back to the camel, it was gone. That's how my 500 days on an island went. During that time, I built this huge mansion. Just look at the number of farms here, and the huge village, and the new island that I built with my own hands, and the auto farms, and the aquarium, and the different biomes. I also have a huge number of animals on this island. And I would like to thank you for watching, and the patrons for their support, which you can see on the screen. On my Patreon, you'll find a map of this world to try and survive on deserted islands like me, and some schematics from my videos. Bye-bye.